Before a woman fully understands romance, before she starts dating, before she says I do or walks away from what no longer serves her, there's often one male relationship that quietly shapes the way she sees love: her father. His presence or absence, his words or silence, his kindness or harshness, his protection or neglect, his consistency or unpredictability. For many women, the father relationship becomes one of the first places where we learn how love feels like. And today, I want to speak from my own truth. My father was a great man. He's no longer here physically with us on earth, but his love, his lessons, his laughter, his values, and his legacy still live in me. So today, as we celebrate Father's Day this weekend, I want to honor good fathers. Not perfect fathers. No human being is perfect, but good fathers. Fathers who showed up. Fathers who protected, fathers who provided, fathers who created safety, who loved and prayed and taught with integrity. Fathers whose daughters still carry their love long before they are gone. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome back to Vibes with Jojolicious, the place where we talk about life, love, healing, faith, growth, relationships, and everything in between. I'm your host, yours truly, Jojolicious, and today's episode is kind of personal. It's Father's Day episode, and it is also more than that. It's a tribute, a reflection. It is a conversation about love, legacy, and the way a good father can shape the woman his daughter becomes from a daughter's perspective. Today's episode, I've titled it A Father's Legacy When Love Outlives Loss. And the question I want us to sit with today is, what does a good father teach a daughter about love? And how does that shape what she looks for in a partner? Because whether we realize it or not, many of us carry our father's influence into our relationships. We carry it into the way we date, the way we love. We carry it into what we call attractive or what we call safe. We carry it into what we tolerate or reject. We carry it into what feels familiar or peaceful. Times, as women, we're not just looking for a partner. We're looking for safety, covering, kindness, emotional security, consistency. We're looking for a man whose presence feels like peace and not confusion. And for some women, that desire comes from what they received from their father. For others, it comes from what they never received but deeply longed for. But today, I'm speaking from a place of gratitude because my father was a good man, and I'm grateful for that. He was a man who shaped me in the ways I am still discovering. My dad was kind, protective, loving, wise. He was a man of integrity. He was a safe space, and he was our rock. And even though he's no longer here, his legacy still speaks. Let me say this clearly before I go further. When I say women sometimes look for their fathers in their partners, I do not mean a woman wants to marry her dad. No, that's not what I mean. What I mean is this: a father can become a daughter's first experience of masculine love, her first experience of how a man protects, her first experience of how a man speaks, how a man treats women. Her father is her first experience of whether strength feels safe or frightening, her first experience of whether love is steady or unstable, her first experience of where a man's presence brings peace or whether a man's presence brings peace or anxiety. And that experience can become a kind of emotional blueprint for her, a reference point, a standard. Sometimes A woman grows up and looks for the safety she felt with her dad. Sometimes she looks for the affirmation he gave her. Sometimes she looks for the protection, the provision, the honesty, the kindness, the integrity she saw in him. And sometimes, if that kind of love was missing, she may find herself searching for what she never received. That is why fatherhood matters. Because a father does not only influence his daughter's childhood, he can influence how she understands love for the rest of her life. When I think about my dad, my father, one of the first things that comes to mind is his heart. My father was a kind man. In fact, if you mention his name, I guess the second thing you should call him is kindness. And in a world where kindness sometimes feels like too much to expect from people, I still find myself yearning for that kind of heart. I hope I carry some of it in me. My dad made my siblings and I feel safe. He was especially protective of his family and especially protective of his girls. He was our rock. And when he left this world, it felt like our world ended, especially me. I speak for myself. Because when you have been loved by a good father, his absence is not ordinary. It's not just that he's gone. No, it's the absence of a voice, it's the absence of a covering, it's the absence of someone who knew you in a way many people will never will, or many people will never know you that way. The absence of a man whose presence gave you stability. I miss his laughter. When my dad laughed, his body vibrated. It was not a small laugh. It was full. It was warm. It was alive. And sometimes I catch myself laughing and I think maybe I laugh like him. I allow my friends to say whether I laugh like my dad or not. And that comforts me because, grief is strange like that. Sometimes what you miss becomes what you carry. Sometimes the person is gone, but you find pieces of them still living in you. Their laughter, their words, their values, their strength, kindness, and faith. That is legacy. One of the first qualities of a good father is this. Number one quality I want to talk about. A good father is a protector. A good father protects. And protection is not the same as control. Let us be very careful about that. Protection is not intimidation, is not possession. Protection is not making people feel people are afraid of you. Protection is not silencing a woman and calling it love. Protection is not monitoring someone's every move because you're insecure. No. True protection is love in action. It is a father saying, I am here. It is a father making his daughter feel safe in this world. Is a father who pays attention. Is a father who checks in. Is a father who wants to know if you got home safe. Is a father who cares about who you are around with, who you're hanging around with. A father who notices when something is wrong. That father who gives his daughter the feeling that she's not alone. And when a daughter experiences healthy protection, it can shape what she expects from a man. She may not always have the language for it, but deep down, she knows the difference between a man who protects and a man who controls. Deep down, she knows that a protector brings peace and a controller brings fear. A protector covers you. A controller cages you. A protector respects your voice. A controller tries to silence you or to bully you into silence. A protector makes you feel safe and a controller makes you feel trapped. And for some women, especially as we get older, we begin to realize that love without safety is not love we can rest in. You can be attracted to a man. You can enjoy his company, admire his success. You can like the way he speaks and the way he looks and all that. But if you do not feel emotionally safe, spiritually safe, mentally safe, physically safe, something in you will struggle to settle. Because a woman does not only want romance, she wants peace. She wants to know, can I rest here? Can I breathe here? Can I be myself here? Can this man hold my heart with care? Can this man protect what is precious without trying to possess me? Can this man love me without making me afraid? That is why the love of a father, of a good father, matters. Because a good father will teach or teaches her daughter that protection should feel like covering, not control. Another quality of a good father I want to talk about is a good father is a provider. When you hear the word provider, many people immediately think about money. And yes, financial responsibility matters. Let us not pretend it does not. It does. A father who works, sacrifices, plans, supports, and does his best to care for his family deserves honor. But provision is bigger than money. A good father provides wisdom. A good father provides structure, guidance. A good father provides emotional steadiness. A good father provides correction, encouragement. He provides prayers and direction. He provides an example. Sometimes provision is waking up early to go to work when he's tired. And sometimes provision is making sacrifices the children do not understand until they become adults. I can tell you that for free. My dad made a lot of sacrifices that we didn't understand until we got older. Sometimes provision is saying no to himself so the family can have enough. Sometimes provision is giving advice that sounds strict at the moment, but later becomes wisdom. And when a daughter has seen healthy provision, she may grow into a woman who values responsibility in a partner, not because she's looking for someone to rescue her, not because she's helpless, not because she cannot stand on her own, not because she understands anything less, but because she understands that love must have responsibility. Love is not just butterflies. Love is not just sweet words. Love is not just, I miss you, baby. Love is not just date nights and beautiful pictures. Love must be able to carry weight. Love must show up when life is glamorous, and love must show up when life is not glamorous. Love must think beyond today. Love must be responsible. In this our time, many women today are strong. They work, they lead, they pay bills, they build careers, they run homes, they raise children, they serve, they carry responsibilities. But strength in these women does not mean that we no longer desire partnership. No. Strength does not mean we want to carry everything alone. A woman can be capable and still desire a man who is dependable. A woman can be independent and still desire a man who contributes. A woman can be strong and still want to feel supported. That is not weakness. That is partnership. A good father helps a daughter to understand that provision is not about domination. It's about responsibility. It's about care, consistency, showing up. It's about saying you do not have to carry everything alone. My dad provided more than material things for us. He gave us structure. He gave us wisdom. He gave us encouragement. He gave us emotional support when we needed it. My father was a girl's dad. I remember when I had a receipt in my professional exam. It was not a failure. I just had to receive some papers, but I was devastated. I locked myself in my room, put on music, and cried. In fact, wailed. I was that child who didn't know how to handle academic failure because I wasn't used to failing, and my dad knew that. He came and knocked on my door until I opened it. He did not dismiss my pain. He did not shame me. He did not make me feel stupid. He came in, he sat with me, he hugged me, and he acknowledged my disappointment. He reminded me that I was intelligent, smart young lady. He reminded me that one failure did not define me. He helped me to navigate that moment. And when I think about that now, I realize that my father was just helping me grow. He was not just helping me with an examination situation. He was teaching me how love responds to disappointment. Love does not mock your pain. Love does not abandon you because you failed. Love does not shame you when you are already broken. Love sits with you. Love speaks life back to you. Love reminds you who you are when disappointment or life makes you forget. And that matters in relationships too. Because when life happens, you need someone who knows how to sit with you. You need someone who does not only celebrate you when you are winning, but also hold your hand when things do not go as planned. Someone who can say, this moment is painful, but it does not define you. Someone who can encourage without minimizing your feelings. Someone who can be present without needing to fix everything immediately. That is the kind of love many women are really, really looking for. Not drama, not performance, not confusion, but steady love, soft love, love that can sit with you in the room when you're crying, love that can remind you of your strength when you have forgotten it. Another beautiful quality of a good father is this. A good father is a safe space for his daughters or his children. And this one is important. A safe space is someone you can breathe around. Someone whose presence does not make you anxious. Someone who can correct you without crushing you. Someone who can disagree with you without humiliating you. Someone who can guide you without making you feel foolish. Someone who can be firm and still be loving. For a daughter, right, a father can be one of the first places where she learns whether love is safe or not. And that lesson can follow her into adulthood, because in dating or marriage, many women, they're not just asking, do I like him or do I love him? They're also asking deeper questions. They're saying, do I feel safe with this guy? Can I tell him the truth? Can I be vulnerable with him? Can I cry without being mocked? Can I make a mistake without being punished emotionally? Can I be soft here? Can I be strong here too? Can I be fully myself? Can I exhale in this relationship? A good father teaches his daughter that love should not require her to shrink. My father raised strong women, and he told us never to shrink. If you've met my sisters, you will understand. Love should not make her afraid. Love should not make her shrink. Love should not silence her. Love should not make her perform for acceptance. Love should not give room for lies. Love should give room for truth. And for women who have known safety, peace becomes recognizable. You can feel the difference. You can feel when a man's presence settles you or unsettles you. You can feel when his words are kind. You can feel when his intentions are honest. You can feel when you do not have to keep explaining your worth. But sometimes for women who have not known safety, they may have to learn later in life that chaos is not passion, confusion is not chemistry, emotional distance is not mystery, jealousy is not protection, control is not love, and silence is not strength. A good man should not feel like a battlefield. A good man should feel like a place where your soul can exhale, where your soul can breathe. And this is where reflection becomes important, my people, because sometimes what we call my type is actually what feels familiar. Sometimes what we call chemistry is actually a pattern. Sometimes what we keep choosing in love has roots. And for some women, the roots, they go back to their relationship with their father. If your father was loving, kind, honest, and protective, you may find yourself drawn to men who carry those qualities. But if your father was absent, harsh, emotionally unavailable, or inconsistent, you may find yourself either avoiding men completely or being drawn to men who repeat a familiar emotional pattern. This is where reflection matters, not blame. Reflection. Because when you understand what shaped you, you can choose with more wisdom. You can ask yourself, this right now feels familiar, but is it healthy? This man reminds me of something, but is this something good? Am I choosing from peace or from a wound? Am I looking for a partnership, or am I looking for someone to finally give me what I missed? Am I responding to love, or am I responding to the fear of being alone? These are not always easy questions to ask, but they are necessary because love is too important to enter blindly. Marriage is too serious to build on fantasy. Dating is too revealing to ignore the patterns. And your heart is too valuable to keep handing it to people who do not know how to hold it. Think about that. Even for those of us who had good fathers, we still need wisdom because no partner can become your father. A husband is not a replacement father. A boyfriend is not a substitute father. A partner is not there to carry the full weight of your childhood, your grief, your mate needs, or your emotional history. He can love you. He can support you. He can be kind. He can protect. He can provide. He can even be safe. But he cannot be your father. And that is an important distinction. It is healthy to desire loving, responsible, godly, emotional, safe qualities that remind you of the good you saw in your father. But it becomes unhealthy when you expect a man to parent you instead of partner with you. There's a difference. A partner works with you. A parent raises you. A partner supports you. A parent forms you. A partner loves the woman you are. A father helped shape the woman you became. So yes, we can honor the good our father showed us. We can value those qualities. We can even desire those qualities in dating and in marriage. But we must also enter relationships as whole women, not little girls looking to be rescued by their daddy. Another good quality of a good father is loving and kind. Love matters. Kindness matters. Tenderness matters. And let me say this especially to women who have been told to only look for money, status, and outward success in a man. Those things may have their place, but kindness is not small. A kind man is a blessing. A loving man is a blessing. A gentle man is not a weak man. A man who speaks softly, apologizes sincerely, listens patiently, and treats people with dignity is not less masculine. He is emotionally mature, and a good father often models this. He shows that strength and kindness can live in the same body. A man can lead without being cruel. A good father shows that a man can be respected without being feared. He shows that love does not always need volume to have power. Some fathers may not say, "I love you" all the time. Depending on culture, upbringing, or generation, really, some men did not grow up with expressive affection. But love has many languages, so there are so many ways to express that love. So love can sound like, "Have you eaten? Call me when you get there. Be careful. Do you need anything? Let me know when you arrive. Take this with you. Don't worry, I'll sort it." Love can sound like that. Sometimes love is in the checking in, is in the sacrifice, is in the concern, is in the quiet consistency of a guy. And when that father is gone, those ordinary things become sacred memories. You miss the voice, you miss the questions, you miss the way he said your name, Jojo. You miss the way he cared. You miss the things that once seemed small because now you realize they were love, emotion. And maybe that is why In love, many women are not only looking for grand gestures, they are looking for the small, steady things, the checking in, the honesty, consistency, kindness, a man who remembers, a man who listens, a man who makes life feel less heavy, a man who does not only say, I love you, but he shows it in how he treats you. There are many things my dad used to do that showed love. I remember sometimes he would call me in the morning and we would just talk. But then before noon, he would call again just to know how my day was going. He was that kind of father. He was also a father who said, I love you. And because I lived alone as well, my dad worried about me. He worried about whether I'm eating well. I remember one day he called me if he should find someone to help me, someone to live with me in my house so that when I got back from work, food would be ready, the house would have been taken care of. That was my dad. He was always trying to make things easy for me because he knew me. He knew my strengths, my limitations, my weaknesses. He showed love by checking in, by paying attention, by making sure I was taking care of myself, even when I was not always doing it well. I miss that. I miss being known like that. I miss being checked on like that. I miss the kind of love that was practical, thoughtful, and intentional. And I know without the shadow of doubt that my father loved me. He did. And when a woman has been loved like that, it can shape what she recognizes as care. You begin to understand that love is not only in expensive gifts. Love is attention. Love is thoughtfulness. Love is knowing someone's needs. Love is paying attention to details. Love is asking, have you eaten, and meaning it. Love is checking in not because you're policing someone, but because you care. Love is noticing when someone is not okay. Love is learning the person you claim to love. As we mature, many of us are no longer impressed by noise. We want substance. We want care that is consistent. We want love that is not just announced publicly, but practiced privately. We want love that sees us because there is something powerful about being loved by someone who knows you. Not the image, not the performance, not the strong woman everybody claps for, but the real you. The you who gets tired, the you who sometimes forgets to eat, the you who cries behind closed doors, the you who needs encouragement, the you who needs softness too. A good father can teach a daughter that she's worthy of that kind of care. And a good partner should not make you feel foolish for desiring it. Another quality that must not be overlooked is this. A good father has integrity. Integrity is character. Integrity is honesty. Integrity is keeping your word. Integrity is doing the right thing even when nobody is watching. Integrity is being the same person in public as you are in private. A father with integrity gives his daughter a strong foundation. He teaches her that character matters. He teaches her that a good name matters. He teaches her that truth matters. A father teaches the daughter that you do not have to cheat, manipulate, deceive, or pretend to be powerful. And let me bring this into relationships. Women, especially as we mature, begin to understand that charm is not the same as character. A man can be charming and still not be honest. A man can be successful and still lack integrity. A man can be generous in public and unkind in private. A man can know how to speak well and still not know how to live well. A man can say all the right things and still be wrong for your peace. That is why integrity matters. When a daughter has seen integrity in her father, she often recognizes the value of a man whose word means something. A man who does not play games. A man who does not make promises he has no intention of keeping. A man who does not lie easily. A man who can be trusted with your heart, your future, your family, your vulnerability. Because love without trust is exhausting. Marriage without honesty is heavy. Dating without clarity is confusing. And a relationship without integrity will eventually cost you your peace. A good father teaches his daughter, even without saying it directly. Yes, yes, yes. Do not just look at how a man treats you when he wants you. Look at how he lives. Look at how he handles responsibility. Look at how he treats people. Look at how he responds when he's wrong. Look at whether his words and actions they match. Look at whether his private life matches his public image. Because legacy is not only in what a father says, it is in what his daughter learns to value. And my father was a man of his word. If integrity was a person, it would be my father. That kind of example stays with you. It becomes standard. It becomes the quiet voice inside you that says, do not ignore character. Because attraction may start something, but you see character, that's what will sustain it. Another quality of a good father is that a father gives wisdom. I know we've mentioned something like this at the beginning, but let me go deeper with this. Sometimes wisdom comes through long conversations. Sometimes it comes through short statements that stay with you forever. Sometimes it comes through correction. Sometimes it comes through watching how someone lives. And many times we do not fully understand our father's wisdom until we are older, until we have faced life, until we have loved, until we have lost, until we have made decisions, and until we have looked back and said, now understand what he meant. A father's wisdom can become a guide in relationships too. There are things I remember my father has said to me. Now I'm older. They make a whole lot of sense. Maybe he taught you not to rush. Maybe he taught you to watch people's actions. Maybe he taught you to respect yourself. Maybe he taught you that your name matters, a good name matters. Maybe he taught you that not every open door is a good door. Maybe he taught you to pray before you make a decision. Maybe your father taught you not to ignore red flags. Maybe he taught you that peace is important. And if your father is no longer here, sometimes his wisdom returns at unexpected moments. You're about to make a decision. Something in you remembers what daddy said, or what daddy would have said. Or you're about to settle for less, and something in you says, no, you were raised with more value than this. You're about to ignore your instincts, and something in you remembers the standard you came from. That is legacy speaking. Love outlives loss when the lessons remain. Now let's talk about standards. Because a good father can raise a woman's standard. And I know sometimes people hear the word standards and they think it means being proud, unrealistic expectation, difficult or impossible to please. That's not it. Healthy standards are not arrogance. Healthy standards are self-respect. Healthy standards says things like, I know what love should feel like. I know I should not be treated anyhow. I know what peace means, and I know peace matters. I know kindness matters. I know honesty matters. I know consistency matters. I know I am worthy of being loved well. That's what standard helps a woman realize. For women who had good fathers, sometimes the challenge is not that we're asking for too much. Sometimes the challenge is that we have seen enough good to know when something is missing. If you grew up seeing responsibility, care, kindness, and integrity, it becomes hard to celebrate bare minimum behavior. It becomes hard to clap for inconsistency. It becomes hard to call confusion love. It becomes hard to romanticize emotional unavailability. Because somewhere inside you, you know that a man can show up if he wants to. You know that a man can be kind. You know that a man can protect without controlling. You know a man can provide without oppressing you. You know a man can lead without crushing. You know a man can love without making you beg for it. You know a man can be strong and still be gentle. A man can have integrity. A man can be safe. And that's why good fathers matter. They do not only raise daughters, they raise women who understand that love should have dignity. But I also want to speak with compassion because not every woman had that father's story like me. Some women listening may be saying, Jojolicious, this is beautiful, man, but that was not my experience. And I want you to know that I hear you. This episode is not to ignore your story. Is not to make anyone feel less blessed, less loved, or less whole. It's simply me speaking from my truth and honoring my father. But even if your father's story was different from mine, you can still learn what healthy love looks like. You can still choose differently. You can still heal. You can still build standards. You can still stop looking for love in places that keep wounding you. You can still say, even if I did not receive this then, I can choose healthier now. I can say this kind of growing up stops with me. My next generation will be fathered right. And that is powerful because your father's story may shape you, but it does not have to imprison you. Whether you're single, dating, married, divorced, separated, widowed, or starting again, you can pause and ask this question: what kind of love am I choosing? What kind of man feels safe to me? Am I drawn to peace or am I addicted to uncertainty? Am I choosing from wisdom or from fear of being alone? Am I looking for a partner or am I looking for someone to heal a wound they did not create? Am I repeating a pattern? Am I building something healthier? These are not easy questions to ask, but they are necessary questions to ask. Because your heart matters, your peace matters, your future matters. The kind of love you allow into your life matters. For me, Father's Day is emotional because my father is no longer here. There's gratitude, yes, but there's also that ache in my heart. Because when you have been loved by a good father, you miss him in a particular way. You miss the covering, you miss the wisdom, you miss the familiar voice. You miss the way he cared for you. Nobody else can care for me the way my dad did. You miss the security of knowing he was somewhere in the world, even though you guys don't live in the same location. You miss knowing that he's somewhere you can call him. And sometimes when a woman has lost her father, she feels that absence even more deeply in certain seasons. When she's making big decisions, when she's navigating relationships, when she's going through heartbreak, when she's getting married, when she's raising children, when she's facing life and wishes she could ask, Dad, what do you think? That absence can be loud. There are moments when I wish I could pick up the phone and ask my dad for his thoughts. Most recently happened to me. I wanted to tell him so much. There are moments when I wish I could hear his voice again. There are moments when I wish he could see the woman I'm still becoming. But the comfort is this: love does not die because the body is gone. Love changes form. It becomes memory. It becomes values, wisdom. It becomes the voice in your heart. It becomes the standard you carry. It becomes the way you say no. I know what love should look like. It becomes the way you choose peace. It becomes the way you honor yourself. It becomes the way you recognize goodness. This is how love outlives loss. So today I want to say thank you to my father. Thank you for being a protector. Thank you for being a provider. Thank you for being a safe space. Thank you for being loving. Thank you for being kind. Thank you for showing integrity. Thank you for being honest. Thank you for your wisdom. Thank you for sacrifices you made for me and my siblings. Thank you for your discipline. Thank you for your prayers. Thank you for your example. Thank you, Papa, for giving me a picture of love that had responsibility. Thank you for showing me that a man can be strong and still be gentle. Thank you for showing me that a man can lead and still love. Thank you for giving me standards even before I knew they were standards. Thank you for helping shape the woman I became. And even though you're no longer here, your legacy still speaks. Your love still lives. Your lessons still guide me. Your memory still warms my heart. And today, I honor you, Papa. To the fathers listening, please hear this. Your daughter is watching. She's watching how you love. She's watching how you speak. She's watching how you treat women. She's watching how you handle anger. She's watching how you apologize. She's watching how you keep your word. She's watching how you carry responsibilities. She's watching whether your strength makes people feel safe or afraid. And one day when she grows up, she may carry your example into how she chooses love. So give her something healthy to remember, like my dad did. Give her kindness. Give her truth. Give her protection. Give her wisdom. Give her emotional safety. Give her encouragement. Give her a good name. Give her a picture of love that does not damage her. Because a father does not only influence his daughter's childhood, a father can influence her understanding of love for the rest of her life. And to the women listening, especially my sisters in their 30s, 40s, and 50s and beyond, I want to say this. It's never too late to reflect on your patterns. It's never too late to choose differently. It's never too late to honor what was good. It's never too late to heal what was painful. It's never too late to raise your standards. It's never too late to stop confusing attention with love. It's never too late to stop confusing control with protection. It's never too late to stop confusing financial provision with emotional maturity. And it's never too late to stop confusing chemistry with compatibility. And it's never too late to choose peace. Whether you're single, dating, married, divorced, widowed, or beginning again, you deserve love that is safe, the love that is kind, that is honest, that is consistent. You deserve a love that has integrity. You deserve a love that does not make you abandon yourself. You deserve that love that feels like partnership, not performance. You deserve the love that allows you to be both strong and soft. You deserve the love that reminds you that you are valued and you are blessed with a good father. And if you are blessed with a good father, may you carry the best of what he taught you. If your father is no longer here like mine, may his memory comfort you. If Father's Day feels tender, may you give yourself permission to feel both gratitude and grief. It's okay. It's fine to feel like that on Father's Day. And if your father's love gave you a standard, may you never lower it just to avoid being alone. Because a good father's legacy is not just in the stories we tell, it's in the choices we make, it is in how we love, it is in how we accept, it is in how we walk away from things, it is in the peace we protect, it is in the values we continue, it is in the way we honor ourselves, it is in the way we recognize healthy love when it shows up. So, as we celebrate Father's Day, I celebrate my father. I celebrate good fathers. I celebrate fathers who protect, fathers who provide, fathers who pray. I celebrate fathers who listen, who guide, who show up, who are honest, who are kind, who live with integrity. Fathers who give their daughters memories that become roots. And to my dad, I say, your love still speaks, Papa. Your legacy still lives, and I carry you with me everywhere I go. Father God, our Heavenly Father, the Father of all fathers, thank you for the gift of a good father and the gift of good fathers. Thank you for the fathers who loved, protected, provided, guided, prayed, corrected, encouraged, and created safety for their children. Thank you for the fathers who are still here. And thank you for the fathers who have gone ahead, but whose love still lives in our hearts. For every daughter grieving today, in this Father's Day weekend, bring comfort, O God. For every woman reflecting on her relationship patterns, bring wisdom. For every father listening, give grace, strength, tenderness, patience, and integrity. Teach us to recognize healthy love. Teach us to choose peace. Teach us to honor the good that shaped us. And teach us to continue the legacy of love in our lives. Amen. Thank you so much for listening to this special Father's Day episode of Vibes with Jojolicious. If this episode touched you, share it with someone who is remembering their father, celebrating a good father, reflecting on the kind of love they deserve. And today, I want to leave you with one question. What did your father teach you about love? And how has that shaped what you look for in a partner? Sit with that, journal it, pray about it, reflect on it, because sometimes understanding where our idea of love began can help us choose better, love better, and heal deeper. Until next time, keep living, keep healing, keep growing, and keep choosing love that gives space. This is your Jojolicious signing out.